Hi, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be talking about the purpose of veiling for modesty, and I will be focusing solely on biblical reasons, but I will be releasing a part 2 that will delve more into the history of head coverings and also the current perception of the sexual nature of a woman's hair. So let's start off in 1 Corinthians 11 verses 5 and 6. But every woman who has her head uncovered while praying or prophesying disgraces her head, for it is one and the same as the woman whose head is shaved. For if a woman does not cover her head, have her also cut her hair off. However, if it is disgraceful for a woman to have her hair cut off or her head shaved, have her cover her head. Notice here how Paul says that if a woman refuses to wear a veil, she should cut her hair off. Now, why would this be the instruction that Paul gives for women who are unwilling to veil? The reason for this is to prevent the woman's hair from being a distraction and a stumbling block to other people. Biblically, a woman's uncovered hair is defined as nudity. We can see this in Isaiah chapter 47 and also in Ezekiel chapter 16. Isaiah 47 verses 2 through 3 says, "Take millstones and grind flour, remove your veil, strip off your skirt, bare your thigh, and wade through the streams. Your nakedness will be uncovered, and your shame will be exposed. I will take vengeance, I will spare no one." Here we can see that the removing of a woman's veil is attributed to her nakedness and therefore credited to her shame. In Ezekiel chapter 16, starting in verse 7, God says, "I made you numerous like plants of the field. Then you grew up, became tall, and reached the age for fine ornaments. Your breasts were formed and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare." Notice here the emphasis on the woman's hair and its relation to her physical nakedness. In verse 8, God goes on to say, "Then I passed by you and saw you, and behold, you were at the time for love. So I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness." He then goes on to describe how he covered her. And in verse 10, it says that he wrapped her with fine linen. The Hebrew word used for the English word wrapped here is the word shabash, which means to bind up, and in the specific verse was used for headgear. The keel and delish, I'm totally butchering that, but their biblical commentary of the Old Testament actually says that this is the technical expression for the binding or winding round of the turban-like headdress. We see the same exact word here used in Ezekiel 24 verse 17, where God instructs Ezekiel to bind on his turban. So why does God care about this? Why does God care about nudity? Well, it matters because nudity tempts people to sexual immorality. In Matthew 18 verses 7 through 8, Jesus says, "What sorrow awaits the world because it tempts people to sin. Temptations are inevitable, but what sorrow awaits the person who does the tempting. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life maimed or crippled than to have 2 hands or 2 feet and be thrown into eternal fire." Notice how similar Paul's instructions were in 1 Corinthians 11. So because of the sexual nature of a woman's hair, Paul says it is better for her to cover it or cut it off in order to not be a stumbling block to other people. This is also why Paul says that it is disgraceful for a woman to have her head uncovered, because it is immodest. All throughout scripture, we are instructed to avoid sexual immorality. In 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18, it says to flee from sexual immorality. And in Matthew 5 verse 28, Jesus says that to even look at a woman lustfully is the same as committing adultery with her. So as Christian women, it is our job to not give people something to look at, to lust after, or to stumble over. And head covering is one way that we can be obedient to God and help to guard others from temptation. So that is all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope that it was insightful. In the next video, I will be going deeper into this topic, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.